Hello, welcome to our class on statistics, and today we are going to look at mean deviation. So when we talk about the mean deviation, we talk about the average of the deviation. And even in the first of all, what is the deviation? The deviation is the difference between the value that you are given and then the mean. How the value is close or far away from the mean. That is the deviation. All right. So what we do under the mean deviation is that we add all the deviation and then we divide by the total number of values. Okay, so that we can get the average of the deviation. All right. So let's take it. For instance, we have set of numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm asked to find the deviation. The deviation is the difference between the number, all right, and then the mean, the value there and then the mean. Okay, so what I'll do is to find the mean. And to find the mean, you know the mean, I'll add 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. All divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. Then I'll get to know the mean. So 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 will give us 25 over 5, and that will give us 5. Alright, so the mean is what? Is 5. So if I want to find the deviation, then my deviation is the difference between the value and then the mean. Okay, so maybe I'll have 3 minus 5. Okay, so the deviation is minus 2, then 4 minus 5. So the deviation minus 1, 5 minus 5, 0, 6 minus 5, that is 1, and then 7 minus 5, that is 2. So this is the deviation. Alright, this is the deviation, the difference between the values and what, and then the mean. Alright, but under mean deviation, what we should take note is that when you are finding the deviation, this is the formula for finding the deviation of set of numbers for mean deviation. So my mean deviation, take note here, will be equal to what? The x minus the mean all divided by n. So summation of absolute value, okay, x, that is the number, is the x minus the mean all divided by n, that is the total number of value. So this is the mean deviation for just set of numbers. And take note that when we are using the absolute value, then we don't consider the negative, we only use the positive, because if you just want to find the average of the deviation, then we just look at the difference between the actual value and the mean. So the difference between 3 and then 5 is 2. So we use what? We use the absolute value. We use the absolute value when we make it what? Positive. So that when we are adding everything, it doesn't become 0. Because the summation, okay, of the deviation of the mean is always 0. See, if I'm supposed to add this, minus 2 plus minus 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1, that will give me 0. So minus or cancel the positive, minus or cancel, and then we have 0 left. So always take note that the summation of the deviation from the mean is always 0. So in actual sense, if you want to find the summation, okay, of the deviation from the mean, then finding the mean deviation, then because we just want the average of the deviation, then we find the absolute value. We just want to know the difference between the number and then the mean. So we don't consider it the negative what? It being the negative, we only consider the positive. So the difference between 3 and 5 is 2. The difference between 4 and 5 is 1. And then 5 and 5 is 0. So we look at how close the number is to the mean or how it is far away from the mean. So that is our focus, so that we can find the actual average of the deviation. So after that, we divide by the total number of values, and then we get the deviation. Is that okay? All right. So that is that for mean deviation. So let's find the mean deviation of this right away. So if I'm finding the mean deviation of 3, 4, 5, and 6, then I'll have my x, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright. Then I'll have my x minus the mean absolute value. So that already I have calculated. So you calculate the mean. We have the mean as what? We have the mean as 5. So here give us 25. That is summation of all this. Okay, we have 25. So 3 minus the 5, that is the mean, will give us what? Absolute value. So 2. 4 minus 5 is 1. 5 minus 5, 0. 6 minus 6, 1. 7 minus 6 minus 5 is 1. 7 minus 5 is 2. So the absolute value here means that we are only going to use the positive. Okay, we are not going to use the negative. So the x, you add all together, you have 25. So that is to calculate for the mean. 25 divided by 5. Okay, then you get your 5. Then you subtract the value from what? Or you subtract the mean from the value. So the difference between the mean and the value. So 3 minus 5, that is 2. We only need the positive. 4 minus 5, that is 1. 5 minus 5, 0. 6 minus 5, 1. 7 minus 5, that is 2. After that, we can get our sigma x minus the mean absolute value. So we add everything. 2 plus 1 will give us 3. Plus 0, 3. Plus 1, 4. Plus 2, 6. So we have the mean, the summation of x minus the mean. Alright, absolute value is 6. Therefore, we can say our mean deviation, that will be 6 divided by the n, the total number of values is what? Is 5. So we have 6 divided by 5. That will give us 1.2. 1.2. So the average of the deviation, how the numbers are far away from what? Far away from the mean. The age average is what? Is 1.2. So this is the formula for finding the mean deviation of set of numbers. The mean deviation of set of numbers. Alright, sigma absolute value s minus the mean, all divided by n. Alright, so that's for mean deviation. We will solve some past question in our next lesson. Bye bye.